Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. It's so nice to see you all here today. There are actually people in the sanctuary. It's wonderful. Thank you for being here today. And I'm just so grateful for all of you who are on our live stream. Thank you for joining us on live stream. Wherever you are today, whether you're here, whether you're at home, whether you're dressed up, whether you're still in your lazy pants, wherever you are, know that you are welcome here and that you are in the right place at the right time right now. Well, I'm Reverend John Riley, Senior Minister at Unity Palo Alto Spiritual Center, and I'd like to welcome you to our live celebration service in person. It's so wonderful to have you here today. And if you're new to Unity, what we want you to know is that Unity is a worldwide, inclusive spiritual movement, welcoming people from all walks of life. People are looking to have a deeper experience of spirit, a greater expression of health, wholeness, and abundance. People who are looking for spiritual growth, transformation, or to simply do life better. We teach positive, practical spiritual principles that you can apply in your life every day to help you live a more joyful and abundant life. We're so blessed to have with us this morning Joe Angeles as our platform leader, Margo LeDuc as our soloist. And we begin our service with our opening song. So I'm going to invite you, if you're here in the sanctuary, just to stand as we begin our songs this morning.
I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
That's it? Are you singing another one?
Yes,
Well,
I think so.
I think
What are you
that's
gonna
all for
sing?
there. Are we singing another one?
Yeah, I'm opening.
Oh,
That's not the call to worship?
I thought that was.
Oh, sorry, we got it wrong.
See, I was right. You made me sing it.
Oops.
Yay! Thank you, Margo. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Reverend John Riley. Good morning. Oh my gosh, let me compose myself. I'm just excited. I am Joe Angeles. It's so great to connect with all of you this morning. So welcome to Unity Palo Alto's in-person service, because you're here. Yay! And our online service for you who are live streaming this morning. So we are part of a worldwide movement of prayer, publishing, and education, teaching positive, practical, spiritual principles that you and I can apply to help us live a more joyful and abundant life. Unity is a spiritual movement, and wherever you are, in person or online, you are welcome here. And we have 5 core principles that guide us on our spiritual path. The first one, God is. There's only one power and presence active in the universe and in our lives, God the good, the omnipotence. And for me this week, that God is divine love. And this divine love, according to our second principle, is the substance and intelligence innate in every person and in all creation, which means you and I and everyone else is innately divine love. And we carry out that divine love through our third principle, which is the law of mind action, which means thoughts and feelings in our mind produce after their kind. That means we have the ability to affect our world. And we do this so beautifully through our fourth principle, which is the practice of meditation and prayer. Because meditation and prayer connects us to that creative, constructive power of spirit to work in, through, and as us. So from that meditative and affirmative prayer consciousness, we get to live out our fifth principle, which is the practical application. So as we live according to these truths daily, we become what we were created to be, the living expressions of the image of God, which unity calls the Christ. And these 5 core principles also help us in living our vision statement. And I invite you to affirm it with me. Together, centered in God, we co-create a world that works for all. And now, we turn it over to Margot for our call to worship.
I'm opening, I'm opening, I'm opening to the Spirit of love. I'm opening, I'm opening, I'm opening to the Spirit of love. I'm opening, I'm opening, I'm opening to the Spirit of love. Let the love flow through me. 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 I'm opening. I'm opening. I'm opening to the Spirit of love.
And now for our reading from the Daily Word. Today's Daily Word is radiance. I will read our affirmation, then invite you to affirm it with me. The Christ presence within is my radiant source of good. Would you affirm that with me together? The Christ presence within is my radiant source of good. On a clear day, when a stray of cloud passes across the sun, I notice the suddenly diminished light. Then looking up, I see brilliant rays of sunshine surrounding the cloud. Instead of hiding the sun, the cloud helps me see and appreciate the sun's radiance. As the sun lights the earth and is the source of its energy, the Christ, the divine presence within me, is my light and the source of everything that I need in order to live brilliantly and joyfully. When, like a passing cloud, an obstacle or challenge along my path may seem to dim my Christ light, I respond by looking up, by raising my point of view. I am reassured and strengthened, knowing that the divine radiance is shining as brightly as ever. No cloud can dim the divine light in me. And our Bible verse for today is from John chapter 1, verse 5. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. And now, a solo from Margot.
Standing here in your presence, in a grace so relentless, I am won by perfect love, wrapped within the arms of heaven, in a peace that lasts forever, sinking deep in mercy, see, I'm wide awake, drawing close, stirred by grace, and all my heart is yours. All fear removed, I breathe you in, I lean into your love. Oh, your love. Your love so deep, it washes over me. Your grace is all I see. I give my everything. Love so deep, it washes over me. Your grace is all I see. I give my everything. Love so deep, it washes over me. Your grace is all I see. Love. I give my everything. I give my everything. I give my everything to you.
I'm just going to soak it in for a minute. Please allow me that, if you will. It's just so wonderful to see all of you here today, to have you here in this experience, in this presence, to be a part of this wonderful spiritual community. Thank you for being here in person. Thank you for being here online. Thank you for your love and your energy today. So I have a question for you. Are you feeling like, well, there's something that you need to be doing, or there's something more? You know, are you getting that sense that the universe is asking you to give a little bit more, to do a little bit more, to maybe step into something new? Have any of you felt that lately? Yeah, a few of you. Yeah, we feel that there's a kind of a pull. There's something in the air. And, I've been chalking it up to anxiety and stress, but there is something that's calling us higher. Well, today, we're going to be looking at the idea of lifting our consciousness, of answering that call by discovering and finding the I am in you. The I am in you. Now, as Joe said at the beginning of the service, the I am is our second principle. It's that idea that you have within you all of the goodness, all of that beauty, all of that energy that is of God, that there is a place within you that is pure, that is untouched. A place within you that is, we might call it a spark of divinity. We might call it a higher consciousness. We might call it our good side. We might simply call it the Christ. But it's that place within you that is urging you forward, that is calling you. So the I am within us, that's our infinite potential. That's the potential within us to live into that goodness, to live into that higher consciousness. That I am within us is that call that brings us higher, that brings us closer to that divine essence. Now, over this last few weeks, we've been looking at this idea of raising consciousness. We started off with the idea of emptying our cup, of letting go of all of those ideas, all of those things, all of those limiting thoughts, pouring out all of our conceptions and beliefs that are limiting us, so that we can have a greater understanding of this idea of God, of this idea of that divine essence within, of life. But to do that, we have to make space for it. And so we empty our cup. And every time we empty our cup, really, and sometimes we really got to get in there and scrub away some of those resentments that we're holding on to. We've got to scrub away some of those fears, those ideas that are keeping us stuck, those ideas of lack and limitation. But every time we do, every time we empty it out, the cup gets a little bit bigger. If you don't empty it out, the cup can't get any bigger. And so after that, we even emptied our cup around our idea about God. You know, all of whatever belief that we have about God, whether it's that dualistic nature of God out there, you know, up in the sky judging us, versus what unity teaches, that God is everywhere present and within all things and all people. That we are swimming in God as God is in us. And so we empty our cup about God so that we can open ourselves just to simply have a greater experience and understanding of that which is the source of all that is, the sum and substance of all that is, that infinite intelligence, the infinite flow of life, love, and wisdom. We may experience it as presence. We may experience it as love. We may experience it as an energy or simply consciousness. But for us to let go of our limitations that we put on God, that was the second step, just so that we can open up and experience more of it. Now, as we go through that, and as we practice those two things, we begin to shift our consciousness. We begin to shift out of the victim-victor consciousness, that dualistic consciousness. And that dualistic consciousness of where we are a victim, you know, life is happening to us, you know, everything that I'm experiencing is a result of what other people are doing to me. That victim consciousness that we have at times. And the other side of it, the other side of it is the victor consciousness that is, well, I'm no longer a victim, I'm a victor, I'm winning. That means someone else is losing. And sometimes we use this consciousness even around our own beliefs. You know, I conquered that belief of fear. I conquered it. That's great. Woohoo! But if you're the victor over fear, at some point you will go back to being the victim of fear. And so we bounce back and forth between these two phases of consciousness, the victim and victor consciousness. But when we practice emptying our cup, when we practice letting go of these ideas and these limiting beliefs and these fears, and we just open ourselves up to something new, we open ourselves up to God. We rise above that dualistic consciousness and move into a phase called the vessel consciousness. That's when we move into the idea that there is something within me, this spark of divinity. I don't know what it is yet, but it's in there. There is something in me that's pulling me and guiding me in a certain direction. But I don't fully identify with it. It's something separate from me. Eric Butterworth used to call it, you know, the God in you, like a raisin that's in a bun. Right? That little, you buy that beautiful raisin, what are they, Raisin Bran muffins? The big giant ones. You take a big bite and there's no raisin. Where's my raisin? You got to keep eating until you find it. Right? That's the vessel consciousness. And sometimes we're at that place when the little me, is still struggling for dominance. The little me is still trying to control everything. The little me is in charge. But I know that there's something in there and there's something pulling me. I just don't know where it is. But it's in there and it's starting to come out. So today, when we look at this idea of the I am, when we start to really focus on the I am and own that idea that you have within you, that spark of divinity, but that spark of divinity is your true self. That's you as an eachness in the allness of God. That's you as being expressed. That's you, that's the part of you that is breathing you. That's the part of you that is God, that is divine. And sometimes we get a little anxious when we hear certain words, right? When we talk about these ideas with big words or small words like God, some people say, okay, that's just that guy out there. Call it something different. How about Christ consciousness? Well, that's a little bit tough there too. How about the spark of divinity? Well, whatever word works for you, identify with that because it's the same thing. It's that essence, that true essence of who you are. And so when we begin to identify more with that side of us, that potential that's within us, that's when we start to embody it. Now, it's one thing to have the words, right? It's one thing to, as we say in the affirmations at the beginning of the service, there's only one presence and one power active in my life and all the good universe, God, the good omnipotence. It's another to get it into your bones. Right? The I am, that presence and power is a substance and intelligence innate in every person and in all creation. That's a great slogan. But until I really get it, it's just words. So when we really start to put it into practice within our lives, when we really start to make it real for us, make it a part, make it a decision, a choice that we're going to live more from our higher self. Just think about what life would be like if you always showed up as your best self. We've all showed up as our best self at one point in time or another, right? You can raise your hand on that one. That's okay, yeah. At one point in time or another, we all have. What would life be like if you just did that a little bit more? How would your life be affected? What dreams would you accomplish? What would your relationships be like? What would your relationship with yourself be like? Now, that which is in us, that infinite potential, is there. That's the true nature of who we are. As Unity calls us, we are original blessings. We are here to create and bring this essence to the world. That's our purpose in life. In whatever way we want to do it, right? In our own individual way. But to do that, we really have to sink into it and live into it. If this great big potential, sometimes that creates a bar that's pretty high, doesn't it? If we look at those around us or those in our past or in the history that we say that we look at as being those pinnacles, those icons of having expressed that full consciousness. You say, well, that ain't me. How in the world am I going to get to be there? I'm just John with a glass of water. So the principle and the practice for this week is to keep it simple. What we're going to be doing is limiting it, that infinite potential, a little bit less. Because that's what we do when our cup is full. We limit it. Our capacity is limited. We limit that divine essence that flows through us in our relationships. We limit it in our jobs. We limit it in our careers. We limit it by our beliefs about what we think we're worthy of, by our fears. We limit it by the stories that we tell each other. The stories about, you know what that crazy minister said today? I can't believe it. There's no bulletins. Can you believe that? I'm surprised you're all still here. But by limiting those ideas a little bit less, and the key is to just become more aware of what we're thinking. That's where it begins, because it all begins in consciousness. All creation begins first in consciousness. And so when we discover that we're starting to struggle against someone or something or some experience, that's the time to just limit God less. Allow that essence to be. When you find your ideas, your thoughts are shifting towards that feeling, that experience of anger or hate or resentment or fear, just gently bring yourself back. And bring yourself back to those ideas that we were practicing last week of that divine essence that's within you. Just simply return your thoughts to that higher self that you all experienced just a little while ago when you remembered when you were at your best. Just gently return yourself to that state. Now, sometimes when we're triggered, it may take a little while, right? The adrenaline's flowing, the energy is flowing, the emotions are flowing. Sometimes we need to take a little break so that we can re-regulate our system, and that's okay. The key is don't do it with blame, shame, or guilt. Just shift. Blame, shame, or guilt just puts us back into that place of separation. It puts us back into that consciousness of being a victim. It puts us back at the bottom of the barrel. And you're not here to be shameful. You're here to be graceful. You're here to shine. So when you're starting to feel that blame, shame, or guilt, just simply change your consciousness. If you find yourself going down a path, an automatic behavior that takes us down the rabbit hole, that's the time to just take a step back and say, okay, I'm going to put this down for now, today, in this moment. And just make a gentle shift back to that energy that's within you, that essence of love. Eric Butterworth, a Unity minister and author, once wrote, in his book, Practical Metaphysics, this is a series of lectures that he gave, he explained it as this: the divine possibility, the divine potential, the divine depth within you that is always present no matter where you are in consciousness, no matter where you are in experience. That's the truth of you, and it's always there. All we need to do is shift our thoughts back to it. He went on to say the heart of Jesus' teachings was that the depravity of man was not the depravity of man, but the divinity of man. The heart of Jesus' teachings was the I amness in every individual. Jesus discovered this principle of divine sense. He discovered his own image, his own divine image, and he fulfilled the personal requirement of living it out into expression fully and completely, demonstrating his own experience. So that I amness of you is always available. It's always within you. It's just we need to focus on it. We need to shift our focus to it. In Paul's letter, his second letter to Timothy, at the beginning he wrote, "Therefore I remind you to stir up the gift of God which is in you. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind." So this is not about the doing in life. This is not about us trying to, go out and perform. This is about the being of life. And this is probably the most important practice that you could do. The two before it enable it. The two before it help you live into it more fully. But if you did one thing and identify with that divine essence that you truly are, as much as possible, more and more throughout the day, you'll be living that. You'll be expressing that in your life. Whatever the challenges are, whatever situation you're going through, that potential is within you right now. Just limit it less. So our focus this week is going to be to shifting our consciousness when we find ourselves wrapped up in our stories, in our resentments, in those automatic behaviors. Empty that cup, wash it out, and refocus on that divine essence that's within you. And as you do, proceed in that fashion. Next week, we're going to be talking about the next phase of consciousness as we're moving into this idea of verity consciousness now. We're moving away and above the idea of vessel consciousness, that it's something in there, but I don't know what it is. And we're starting to identify what it is and own it and be a part of it. And that's our verity consciousness. That's our oneness consciousness. That's the consciousness that we rise to that higher level where we can then express it out into the world. So this week is all about the beingness of it. Don't worry about the doingness. Because out of the beingness comes the expression, the realization in manifestation. So let's move to our affirmation. I'm going to read this once and then invite you to affirm it with me. Realizing my limiting me thoughts, I dwell in the infinite flow of life, love, and wisdom. In the silence, the ever-present indwelling Christ awakens my awareness of oneness with God, the I am in me. I'm going to read that one more time and then invite you to affirm it, because I really want it to sink in. We empty our cup first, releasing my limiting me thoughts. I dwell in the infinite flow of life, love, and wisdom. In the silence, the ever-present indwelling Christ awakens my awareness of oneness with God. I am thank you. I got that one wrong. The ever-present indwelling Christ awakens my awareness of oneness with God, the I am in me. Okay, everyone got it? Let's affirm it together. Releasing my limiting me thoughts, I dwell in the infinite flow of life, love, and wisdom. In the silence, the ever-present indwelling Christ awakens my awareness of oneness with God. I am in me. Let's take that idea and that thought into our time of meditation and affirmative prayer. I invite you to take a nice, deep, cleansing breath, to close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or simply soften your gaze. And as we breathe into this present moment, we let go of all of that has come before this moment. We empty our cup of the struggles of masks, the questioning of hugs, the stress of our Zoom life, the fears that we came with. And as we breathe into this present moment, we open ourselves to that divine flow of life, love, and wisdom. Sensing the loving energy, that harmonizing energy that flows in, through, and all creation. Experiencing that inner flow of love, that inner sense of peace, as we are filled by that divine essence. And with the breath, we recognize that divine essence as us, as you, as me. Our spiritual nature, our higher consciousness, that guides the little me in life. And as we breathe into that sense of that inner flow of life, love, and wisdom, we allow it to fill us up with harmony. We allow it to guide us in everything that we have to do this week. We allow it to be in the stillness, in the experience of it, in the silence. As we breathe into this present moment, we feel ourselves filled with love. A love for the little me and all of its foibles. The love for the higher consciousness, guiding and directing me. The love for that experience of spirit in the world, in the flowers, in the trees, in the butterflies, in the cat that wakes you up at 4 a.m. And with that experience and expression, we give thanks. We apply our affirmative prayer treatment as we affirm that we are one with the divine essence of life, love, and wisdom. We affirm our oneness with each other, that harmony that we extend to each other. We surround each person in this room with that energy of love. We extend that feeling to all of our friends and family who might be watching online, to all of our extended family who maybe can't even hear what we're saying. We extend it to all of those people that we meet along the street today, just surrounding them with this energy as we encompass the whole planet and every person on it. As we allow this essence to flow, we feel a sense of gratitude, a sense of peace, a sense of belonging, knowing that we are one. And for that sense of peace, we are joyfully grateful. We are richly blessed, and we celebrate by singing the Alleluia. Nice deep cleansing breath, we now move into our time of spiritual practice. Let us affirm these words for all of those, extend this love and this appreciation and this gratitude for all of those who are supporting us during this time of the pandemic, during this next phase in our experience as we continue to move forward as this light. We surround all of our world, national, state, and local leaders with this same energy, seeing them making wise and loving decisions for peace on earth, goodwill, equality, and justice for all people. And for this time together, we are joyfully grateful. And so it is. Amen. Well, thank you for being here again today, and thank you for being online with us today. We now take the time to move into that spiritual practice of living in the flow of abundance and expressing that flow of abundance through our love offering. Unity Palo Alto is here to help people discover that spiritual magnificence, help them discover that essence, and live from that every day. And we are here because of the joyful blessings that you give to us every week. We're going to do the love offering a little bit differently today. I invite you, if you're in the sanctuary, I invite you to bless your love offering in whatever way you have to give, whatever it is, no matter what you're giving. There's so many ways in which you can support our spiritual community, whether it's through a donation, whether it's through the mail, donating your car. I think someone gave us an IRA distribution that was tax-free for them, I think, or however you want to do it. But however you do it, fill it with your love. For it's the manner in which we give to the world that we receive from the world. And so when we give with love, we receive with love tenfold. The affirmation is on the screen. And I invite you to affirm it with me together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. And so it is. And if you're here on your way out, there are a couple of baskets at the 2 doors you're welcome to. Place your love offering in there. Thank you.
You can sing along with me if you want. Higher than the mountains that I face, stronger than the power of the grave, and it's constant through the trials and the change. One thing remains. One thing remains. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails and never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails and never gives up and never runs out on me. Your love, your love. On and on and on and on it goes. It overwhelms and satisfies my soul, and I never ever have to be afraid. There's one thing remains. One thing remains. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love, oh, your love never fails, never gives up. Yeah, your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, it never runs out on me. Oh, your love, 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 your love.
Thank you so much, Margot. That's one of my favorite songs. And thank you, Reverend John Riley, for that wonderful talk today. And you know, we are indeed a welcoming and vibrant community with many virtual opportunities for spiritual growth, sacred service, and celebrating our community. Starting with today, today is the 1st of August, and also today is the first Sunday of the month. So right after service today, we are having our spiritual center update right after the service. It's going to be both in the sanctuary and on Zoom. So this is the opportunity that our board of trustees will give us an update about our current financial status, while Reverend John will also give us an update regarding our spiritual center. So you will have the opportunity to ask questions, and everyone from our spiritual community, both online and in person, is welcome to attend and definitely participate. Then on next Sunday, which is the second Sunday of the month, we're going to have our monthly prayer, affirmative prayer service on Zoom. And this is our opportunity to come together in affirmative prayer. And this is our time that we infuse all of our community prayer requests with love and blessings before we send them off to Silent Unity, where they will be held in prayer for another 30 days. And this meditation service is actually led by our very own Casey Wicker, our licensed Unity teacher. So it's the very same sacred practice that's used by Silent Unity. So in this service, we go with one heart, one voice in prayer, affirming that light within. And for all of information about this and all of the opportunities, you can go to our website at unitypaloalto.org. And you can also check out our social media channels. There are so many ways to connect with us and share the good news that is Unity Palo Alto. So for all of you who are here, which I still can't believe that you are, who are here in the sanctuary, thank you so much for each and one of you. And I know it is our usual thing to get together to give each other hugs. But for today, we're going to hold off. Don't worry. You can do the hugs right after service outside. Okay? So hold off on that one. Okay? Hold your horses. And if you are watching us on YouTube or Facebook, so we invite you to pop over to the chat room and greet each other over there. Or you may simply put your hand on your heart and then send out that love to all of our friends in Unity. And if this is your first time or you're back from a long absence, we invite you, if you're here physically with us in the sanctuary, we invite you to stand. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you so much. And we invite you to fill out our connection card, which you can do that in our courtyard, or you can also do it online at Unity at www.unitypaloalto.org/live. Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday. I feel weird, but anyway. And today, since I mentioned that it is the first Sunday of the month, it is our birthday Sunday. So if you have a birthday in this month, I invite you to stand up for all of our August babies. Yay! And I will let our lovely Margot to sing to you happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you are wonderful. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you. You are wonderful. God is blessing you now.
Well, we did it. Which way should I go? Hi. And now our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Love and blessings, everyone. Have a wonderful week. Namaste.